begin your presentation.
To create opportunity to bring the American dream to a refugee from a distant land.
To create environmentally sustainable solutions for community hunger.
To use the positive power of business for good.
We are West Texas A&M University. We improve standards of living and quality of life. Good morning. I'm Laura Beth Holman, a senior finance major from Cleveland, Texas, and SIFE team president.
I'm Albert Plexico, a junior entrepreneurship major from Amarillo, Texas.
I'm Karina Linardi, a master's in finance and economics major from Indonesia and team chief operating officer. I'm Sydney Fremel, a senior finance major from Vega, Texas.
I'm Adrian Walker, a junior finance and economics major from Frisco, Texas.
And I'm Juan Gallardo, a junior secondary education major from Dallas, Texas.
West Texas A&M University is located in the heart of the Texas Plains, 15 miles south of Amarillo in Canyon, Texas. With an enrollment of 7,500, we are NCAA Division II school and a proud part of the Texas A&M University system.
Celebrating the 100th birthday of our founding, West Texas A&M is the only public four-year university in the top 26 counties of Texas, the part we call the Texas Panhandle.
The cattle ranchers and farmers of the Texas frontiers, the wildcatters who first discovered gas and oil, that is our heritage. But new technologies, especially in energy and agriculture, strongly connect us to the global economy. In its 17th year, our team has a rich legacy of success in working collaboratively to empower people in need.
This year, SIFE International changed criteria and challenged each team to rethink project focus, placing more emphasis on needs assessment in the community.
Upon returning from national competition, new officers immediately met with ongoing project partners to better identify needs. For example, last year our team began new collaboration with Refugee Services of Texas. This was led by a SIFE team member who was a refugee from Iraq.
Why would the United Nations invite refugees from Burma, Iraq, and African countries to the Texas Panhandle? Job opportunities. As officers, we met extensively with Refugee Services staff and invited their director, Landra Medlock, to serve on our business advisory board. To move to independence, refugees have many needs: a place to live, job skills, literacy, and a driver's license. We laid the groundwork for Awaken the Dream, which has become our signature project.
We interviewed experts. This is David Terry, the director of the university's business incubator and an expert on the needs of business and entrepreneurship itself. In fact, the team began the year with a retreat where David trained us to take an entrepreneurial approach to our project. The secret: take ownership in everything you do, treat it like you own it.
Ongoing meetings with Business Advisory Board member Daniel Berker, an elementary school teacher, assess the needs of children. In prior years, our SIFE team has actively pursued international projects. We built Bible houses in Bolivia, and we helped trip kids in Ecuador. However, using the new SIFE criteria that emphasizes a careful evaluation of economic factors, we decided to focus our resources in the 26 counties of the Texas Panhandle. But we do want to update you on the final uses of funds raised last year to provide safe drinking water to Puerto Rico, a remote, poverty-stricken village in Bolivia. 200 families live in this village, which is flooded by a river 6 months a year and has drought the other 6 months. One small well is their only source of drinking water, and the motor to that has been broken. SIFE contributed $1,000 to buy parts and repair the motor so the well can pump water.
Although they don't come from Ellis Island, more than 300 people arriving each year, the refugee population is rapidly growing in Amarillo. Our Awaken the Dream project helps refugees even before they arrive in Amarillo.
We move furniture and supplies into their new homes before the families arrive. Then, we greet them at the airport to welcome them to Amarillo. Their director explains.
At Refugee Services, we have brought in over 300 people this last year and expect to bring in 350 this next year. We are doing almost the same number as the Dallas agency is doing with less than half the staff. This would be very, very hard for us to do except for the help from SIFE, who helps us with furniture, picking people up at the airport and meeting them, helping with tutoring for students, and many, many other things. And most of all, just being friends to the refugees.
As Landry mentions, the most important part of integrating refugees into American society is by assimilating them into American culture and building lasting relationships. Partnering with Refugee Services for cookouts, we met many new families and became friends with them.
We played soccer and football and introduced American customs and cultures to the people trying to fit in. We invited refugees to the homecoming. We spent the day enjoying the homecoming parade, touring the campus, tailgating, seeing the WT football team victory, and watching fireworks. It was a day perfect for creating lasting relationships.
SIFE partners with Refugee Services on boots and sandals.
Boots and Sandals event over at St. Stephen's tonight. It raises money for the Refugee Services of Texas Emergency Fund. It does have live music, as you can see there, as well as a variety of foods from some different countries.
It is the second annual Boots and Sandals event, and what it is SIFE partnered with Refugee Services of Texas.
Being empowered means something different for everyone. Finding a job, being able to function in an American classroom, or even getting into college. Empowerment moves a person from dependence to independence. The refugees arrive dependent with a need to quickly become independent.
It's hard to have a job in Amarillo if you can't drive to work. Identifying this problem caused our SIFE team to conduct a driving workshop for the refugees. Job opportunities abound for refugees, but to compete for these jobs, they need independent transportation.
We helped 11 refugees take the first step into receiving their driver's license by teaching them the rules of the Texas roads. Novi, a refugee from the Congo, took the test and passed. He is now ready to take his next step, actually learning how to drive.
You helped me, and now I get my driver's license because of SIFE. They sent me to school, and I get it now because of SIFE.
Tutoring refugees 2 nights a week is a major component of this project. Just this year, 38 SIFE members have logged in 467 hours tutoring over 40 refugees. Each week, a group of young girls brings their homework, and I help them prepare for the state test.
Seth left the refugee camp in the Congo, arriving in Amarillo to a SIFE greeting. We have mentored him every step of the way, entering him in talent shows to showcase his singing. He now has his own home and a job at a car dealership.
SIFE is a good group. What they do is something good because they volunteer themselves.
Linda, a refugee from Congo, has been getting help with her spelling every week and has received A's on all of her Friday's spelling tests. Empowering the refugees through improving economic and social factors for them is the heart to this project. We work collaboratively to transfer valuable knowledge and skills to build their capacity for long-term success. Success is a refugee assimilated into American society who has moved to independence.
Planting the seeds of success among the young in our community has long been our SIFE team goal. As you follow our presentation in our annual report, you will now see a series of programs with the overall theme, Seeds of Success.
Our Seeds of Success projects are based on one principle. Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach him to fish and he eats for a lifetime.
Success can be elusive for teenagers who have been incarcerated. 3 years ago, SIFE began working at the youth center of the High Plains. The offenders in this juvenile detention center will all eventually return to the community, most with the cards stacked against them. SIFE created interactive training programs in anger management, time management, and communication skills, life skills, basic to independent living.
Working in groups, we build capacity for them to take responsible actions for long-term success. We are not their parents nor their guardians, so they can relate to us.
Some needs to be encouraged just to stay in high school, and we have talked to some about college admissions and financing. We are a team filled with first-generation college students. Many of us grew up in families and communities where college was not the default option, but we made it to college and see ourselves in the upward bound high schoolers we work with.
Upward Bound students come to campus once a month to show up academic skills in a program funded by the U.S. Department of Education, which this year specified that students learn financial responsibility. Because of SIFE's long history of teaching personal finance, the Upward Bound director specifically asked SIFE to teach about money, needs assessment solved.
Working with SIFE mentors, students participate in a budgeting simulation. Once decisions are made, stuff happens. Maybe they lose their job or their car breaks down. They have to adjust the budget accordingly. It was great fun preparing budgets at the end. They were even left with budgeting homework and reported back the following one. One girl reported she had saved $200 by creating a budget. For these students, a part-time job will be a necessity of their college life. So we focused on job basics, resumes, and interviewing. The creative role-playing and mock interviews were a lot of fun.
Hearing impaired students and the Deaf Education Program at Caprock High School were targeted as people in need for money management lessons. Thomas, a SIFE team member who is deaf himself, signed with them as SIFE taught credits.
Why this group? As Thomas says, parents have communication problems with their children, and lessons about money fall through the cracks.
Strong needs assessments means working with the project partners to determine the needs. For 12 years, Amarillo Women's Network and Rotary Mentoring Program has asked SIFE to provide career insight and leadership training to juniors they mentor from 7 local high schools.
Speakers from business, engineering, and environmental education programs discuss careers. But the biggest impact was made by a SIFE alum from last year's team who recruits for Hastings Entertainment. As a recruiter, very new to the workforce herself, she spoke reality. Don't use texting format when you email me, and guys, please, use your spell checker.
A fashion show of do's and don'ts was a hit. Leadership training used hands-on exercises with tinker toys and mirrors, and the day culminated in serious brainstorming sessions called Be a Leader, Solve a Problem. The groups tackled the problem with long-term solutions to hunger relief. This evaluation says it all. I really think this led me in a different direction and made me think a little more.
As students in free enterprise, we feel that we just have to teach about the free enterprise system. That is who we are, SIFE. For 5 weeks, we met with the 6th grade class in Wall Street Comes to Canyon. Working with SIFE mentors, students learned how the stock market works, how a stock is born, and how an investor selects a stock.
They each chose stocks to follow. As we follow the stocks weekly, they can connect changing in stock price with changing economic events. Are they ready to learn this? When a 6th grader pulls out his iTouch, shows you the stocks app on it, and says, "Is this what you need?" then you know he's ready to learn.
Saturday badge workshops for Bradley Scouts allow SIFE to teach children about money. For needs assessment, the Girl Scout office invited us to an event where we discussed needs with leaders.
Teaching brownies about money is fun because first you have to teach them how to count it. They use their skills counting money to buy lunch. Building capacity for long-term financial success begins with small steps like this.
College students are also a Seeds of Success target audience. Teaching 6 credit workshops to college freshmen finished a 3-year grant from SIFE and Charles. We had an average pre-test score of 51 and an average post-test score of 69. Please see our annual reports for individual scores.
Although it is considered campus service and not an actual project, SIFE SOAS sees a career success by being the workforce as employers set up for 2 campus career expos.
Before we move on to our competitive edge projects, let's look at what the Seeds of Success projects all have in common. They all target students in their formative years, equipping them with knowledge and skills. They reach every age group, from 2nd graders to college students, and each project applies basic economic and business concepts from money and credit to career building skills to leadership to time management to understanding the market.